Hi friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In the last video, I have discussed what is the need for the CSS selectors, and then I have discussed the different types of CSS selectors such as simple selectors, combinator selectors, pseudo-class selectors, pseudo-element selectors, and attribute selectors. Then I have discussed in detail about the simple selectors such as tag-based selector, ID-based selector, and then class-based selector. Then we have discussed in detail about the purpose of combination selector and the different categories of combinator selectors such as descendant selector, child selector, adjacent sibling selector, general sibling selector. I hope you have watched that video. If you did not watch that video or if you don't know those concepts, I request you to go back and watch that video and come back to this video. In this video, I will discuss about pseudo-class selectors, pseudo-elements selectors, attribute selectors. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First, let me discuss about the pseudo-class selectors. The pseudo-class selectors is used to define the special state of an element. When we are using the hyperlinks, we will have various special states such as hover, active, focus, visited. For all these special status, if you want to give a specified style, that you can do with the help of the pseudo-class selectors. The pseudo-class selectors can be combined with the CSS selector to add an effect to the existing element based on their states. Like as I said earlier, if you look at the hyperlinks, they will be having various states. Like whenever you click on the hyperlink, it will be in the active state. Whenever you are moving the cursor on the hyperlink, we will say it is in hover state. Similarly, if you click on the link, we will say it is in visited state. So if you look at any hyperlink, it will have various states. For each state, if you want to use a different style, that we can do with the help of the pseudo-class selectors. We have various states such as hover, active, focus, visited. What is the meaning of hover state? It is used to add special effect to an element whenever our mouse pointer is over it. Suppose look at here, there is a text in this document. I am moving the cursor on top of it. Whenever I am moving the cursor on top of it, I can say we are using a special effect called hover. Similarly, the active state also will be there. It is used to select an element when the user clicks on the link. As I said earlier, we will have the hyperlinks. Whenever we click on a hyperlink, we can say that that hyperlink is right now active. Similarly, we have focus state. It is used to select an element which is currently focused by the user. It works on the user input elements used in forms and is triggered as soon as the user clicks on it. So I can say that focus state is used to select an element which is currently focused. Suppose let's take that when we are filling any form, there will be various text boxes will be there. Now whenever you are filling a particular text box, then we can say that currently the user is focusing on the text box. If you want to add any effect towards that one, we can do using the pseudo class selector. Similarly, we have visited state. It is used to select the links which have been already visited by the user. So we will have various states like hover, active, focus, visited. So in these states, if you want to add any effects, that can be possible using the pseudo class selectors in CSS. Now let me discuss with a simple example so that it will be clear for you. Let me go to the desktop CSS and then I will click the new text document and I will give it as selectors2.html. Then let me open this one. Before that, it will ask, or you want to change the extension? Yes, I want to do it. Let me right click on this one, open with Notepad++. Then I will write the HTML document. So I will write doc type HTML And then you know that every HTML program should be enclosed within the HTML open tag and HTML close tag. And HTML have two main tags. One is the head tag and body tag. The head tag is useful for you to display the title of the page, provide the internal style sheets, metadata, etc. Similarly, whatever the data you can see in the web page, that information you need to provide within the body tag. So let me open the head tag and close the head tag. Similarly, I will open the body tag and then I will close the body tag. Inside the head tag, I will use the title tag to provide the title for the web page. So I will write selectors in CSS. Let me close the title tag and let me open the style tag to provide the internal style sheets. I will write type is equal to either text or CSS, and then I will close the style tag, and then I will use the pseudo-class selectors in this one. So I will write a and then I will provide the state. Whenever the link is in link state, I want to provide some style to it. So I will write a is the tag and link is the state for it. And whenever the link is in the link state, I want to provide the color as green color. And then let me close the curly braces. Similarly, whenever the link is in visited state, I want to provide the color as pink. Let me open the curly braces and I will use the property as color and the value as pink. Similarly, when a link is in hover state means whenever the mouse has moved over it, we will say that state is called as hover. Now whenever the mouse has moved over the link, I should display the link in the red color. So I will provide the tag as a and the state has hover, and I will use the property as color and the value as red. And let me close the with the curly braces. And then whenever the link is in active, I want to provide the color as violet. Then I will write color and then value as violet. Let me end with the semicolon and close the curly braces. So I have provided all the internal style sheets inside the head tag. Then I will use the body tag to provide the information which should be displayed on the web page. So I will use the a tag, anchor tag, and in the anchor tag we will have the href attribute which you can provide which file should be opened. I want to open the first.html. If you look at the CSS file, we have first.html, second.html, and third.html are there. So I want to open those files. So whenever the user clicks on the Python, the first.html should open. Let me close the anchor tag and then I will provide the break tag, and let me copy this one and paste it again. And here I will change first.html to second.html. Similarly, first.html to third.html. In place of Python here, let me provide as Java and this one as C. Now let me save this one. Go to the desktop, CSS, selector2.html, open with Google Chrome. Now you can see the links are now looking in red color. See, whenever I have moved the cursor over that one, now it is in hover state. So that's why it is looking in red color. Similarly, Java, whenever I moved over it, now it is in hover state. It is looking in red color. Now if I click on the link, now you can see the first HTML page. For better understanding, let me do certain changes in the code. Now you can see whenever I click on the Python, in the same page itself first.html is opening. If I want to change it, I need to provide the attribute as target and I need to provide the value as underscore blank. We have two values, one is underscore self and underscore blank. Underscore self means it is a default value. Whenever we click on the document, in the same tab only the first.html will open. If you want to open in a new tab, then you need to provide the target is equal to underscore blank. Let me copy this one and paste it here and also here. Let me save this one, go to the browser, let me refresh it. Now if I click on Python, the first.html is opening in another page. Now this one is visited. So like this, whenever you want to provide a various states to the anchor tag, that we can do with the help of pseudo-class selectors in CSS. Now let me discuss about pseudo-element selector. A pseudo-element selector is a keyword added to a selector that lets you to style a specific part of the selected elements. Let's consider a simple example. You want to add a specified style to the first letter or first line of an element, or you want to insert content before the selector or after the content of an element. Like this, if you want to add a specific style to the first letter or the first line, you want to insert a content before the some text or after the particular text, that can be done using the pseudo-element selector. The pseudo-element selector have various types. One is first hyphen line, first hyphen letter, before or after or makeover. First line, apply style to the first line of a block level element. Similarly, we have first hyphen letter, apply style to the first letter of the first line of a block level element. So first letter is a pseudo element which applies the style to the first letter of the first line of a block element. Similarly, we have before pseudo element. It creates the pseudo element that is the first child of the selected element. So before the selected element, if you want to have some style, that you can do with the help of before pseudo element. Similarly, we have after pseudo element. It creates the pseudo element that is the last child of the selected element. Similarly, if you want to have some style to the markers, that we can do with the help of marker pseudo element. Generally, whenever we are displaying the list elements, right, either it will be displayed using bullet or number. For those bullets or numbers, if you want to have some style, that we can do with the help of the marker pseudo element. All these concepts I will discuss by creating one program so that it will be very clear for you. Let me go to the desktop and then let me click on the CSS folder. Let me create new text document and then I will give element css dot html. And now let me click on yes. Now let me right click on the element css.html, open with notepad++. Let me copy this one and paste it here. What are the changes I want to do? I will do here. In place of pseudo-class selector, I want to use the pseudo-element selector. Let me delete this one and then for the h1 tag, I want to apply the pseudo element which is first line. I will write h1 tag and then I will use the pseudo element selector. So this is the notation to use the pseudo element selector, and then you need to provide the pseudo element, which is I want to write first hyphen line is the pseudo element. So for the first line, I want to display the content in the red color. So I will use the property as color and the value as red. Let me end with semicolon. Similarly, for the h1 tag, I will use the pseudo element selector and the pseudo element I will use it as first hyphen letter. The first letter I want to display it in the green color. So I will use the color property and the value I will use it as green, and then I will end with semicolon and then close with the curly braces. So instead of using the anchor tag, I will use the h1 tag, and then I will write Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. Let me provide in this one only. Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel is the best channel for CSC courses, and then let me close the h1 tag, and then let me save it, and let me go to the CSS, and then where is the file called elements css.html? Right click on this one, open with Google Chrome. Now you can see Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. This is the best channel for CSC courses. The entire content have been displayed in the first line. So that's why the entire content have displayed using the red color. And you can see in the first line, the first character have been displayed using the green color. For better understanding, let me add the same content, or let me write here like, okay, share, subscribe, like that I will write. Let me save this one, go to the browser, and let me refresh it. Okay, lot of content is coming in the first line itself. We will paste it again, and then we'll copy again, and we will paste it here. Again we will paste it here, we will paste it here. So several content I am writing. Now let me save this one, go to the browser, and let me refresh it. Now you can see in the entire content, the first line only have been displayed in the red color. In the first line, the first character have been displayed in the green color. The remaining lines have been displayed using the black color only. If you want to use the background color also, that also you can do. I will use the first line pseudo element. For that one already I have used the color property. Now I will use the background hyphen color property, and for the background color I will use yellow. Okay, let me write it as yellow, and for the first character I will use the background color property, and I will use the black, or let me use the red, and then here I will use, instead of green color, I will use some blue color. Okay, I hope it looks decent. Let me save this one, go to the browser, and let me refresh it. Now you can see the first letter of the first line, it has been displayed in blue color and background color is in red, and the first line has been displayed using the red color font, and the background color is yellow. Like this, if you want to have some style, that you can do with the help of Pseudo-Element selector. Let me discuss some more Pseudo-Elements such as before, after, marker, all this one. Okay, let me use the h1 tag. Okay, and then I will use the Pseudo-Element selector, and then I will use the Pseudo-Element as before, and for the before I want to have some content is equal to, so I'm using the property called content, and the content should be displayed double quotes. So I will write within the single quote some double quotes I will provide, and then end with the semicolon, and then I will use the color as some blue color, and then I will use the font size as 30 pixel. So I will use the property as font hyphen size and the value as 30 pixel, end with the semicolon, and close the curly braces. Similarly, after also I want to use something, so I will write, instead of before, I will copy this one and paste it here. In place of before, I will write after here, and the content I want to display in blue color, and font size, let me keep it as 60, and then content should be in double quotes only. Okay, several things we have written. Let me close it. Okay, now let me save it, and then we will see how it looks like. Let me refresh it. Now you can see before it we have the content. Okay, now before that it becomes as the first letter in the first character, so that's why it is looking in blue color and red, and this one as now it became the after it is looking in the blue. So let me remove this first letter pseudo element, and let me save this program. Instead of using blue color, here I will use green color, and here I will use the blue color. Let me save this one, and let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the first one have been displayed using the green color, and the last one it has been displayed in the blue color. So this I have added after the particular element, and this one has been added before it. Similarly, I will use the marker pseudo element for the bullets and numbers. So let me use the pseudo element called marker. Let me copy this one and paste it here. In place of after, I will use the marker, and then I will write color is equal to red. In place of blue, I will use the color as red, and then I will write font size as 60 pixels. So font hyphen size, I will write it as 60 pixel, end with the semicolon, end with the curly braces. Okay, let me close it again. Let me delete all these things. Let me close the h1 tag, and then I will use the ul tag for unordered list. Now in the unordered list, you need to provide the list elements, right? So I will write li is the open tag, and then I will provide the list element as html, and then I will close the list element, and similarly I will open the list item, and then I will write css. Again I will close the list item, and then again I will open the list item tag, and I will write javascript, and then let me close the list item tag. Now let me close the unordered list, and this marker I want to provide it for the list item. In place of h1 tag, I want to use the list item unordered list. So I will write ul space list item li, then I am using the pseudo element selector, and I am using the pseudo element as marker. Now let me save this one and go to the browser. Let me refresh it. Now you can see the bullets have been displayed in red color, and you can see the font size is 60. If you want to use the green color in place of red, you can see how it looks. Let me provide the color as green. Let me save it. Let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the new style has been applied. In place of red color, we have applied the green color. Like this, we can use the marker pseudo element. Now let me discuss about attribute selectors. The attribute selectors are used to select all the elements that has a specified attribute. You know that in HTML, every element or a tag will have certain attributes. Based on those attributes, you want to select a selector, then we can use the attribute selector. So the attribute selectors are used to select all the elements that have the specified attribute and applies the CSS property to that attribute. The attribute selector generally represented using like this. So whatever the attribute you want to provide, you will provide within these braces. Suppose if you want to use the attribute as class, then you will use the class here. Suppose if you want to provide the ID. Based on the ID attribute, you want to apply some style to the elements, then you can use the ID. Suppose let's take that you want to apply some style to the elements which is having the class is equal to 2, then you will write class and the value you will provide it as 2. So this style will be applied to the all the tags whose class is having the value 2. Like that you can select the selectors based on the attribute. So the generalized syntax is you need to open the braces, you need to provide the attribute and again close the braces, you need to open the curly braces, you need to provide the property value and with a semicolon, again another property value and with a semicolon, then you need to close the curly braces. So now let me discuss with a simple example so that it will be clear for you. Let me delete all these things and let me delete this one also. Now in the style tag I will use some attribute selector. So let me provide the class and then I'm opening the curly braces. I will give the text hyphen align. This is a one more property. You can align the text either to the center, to the left, to the right or to the justify. So I will provide the text align as center. So the text will be displayed in the center. Okay, and then I will end with a semicolon and then I will use another property called color and I will use the value as green and then I will end with a semicolon and then I will close the curly braces. Then I will have various tags. Let's take that H1. It's just displaying Parnika tutorials and then I will close the H1 tag and then I will have the H2 tag and then I will write like, share, subscribe and then I will close the H2 tag and then let me open the H3 tag. I will write please visit Parnika tutorials YouTube channel. And then let me close the H3 tag. For all these tags, I will provide some class attribute. I will write class is equal to 1. Okay, and for this one, I will use class is equal to 2. And for this one also, I will use the class is equal to 2. Now, if you use the class based selector, then you need to provide the class name, right? How you will provide? You will provide here dot class name. Suppose if I write dot to, whatever the style you have applied, the elements which are in the class called to, for them only it will apply. If you want to verify, let me save this one and let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see like, share, subscribe. Please visit Parnika tutorials YouTube channel. The text have been aligned center and the color has been applied green. But you want to apply this style to the all the tags which is having the attribute called class. For the tags for which it does not have any attribute called class, you don't want to apply. Then you can use the attribute selector where you can take the attribute as class. Let me copy this one and let me paste it. Let me close this tag and let me paste it, and I will not use any attribute called class for this tag and I will say welcome. Now you can see for the tags which is having the attribute called class, whether what kind of class it is different. For all of them, if you want to apply a style, then you can use the attribute selector and you can use the attribute as class. Let me save this one. Now H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag, the first H3 tag having the attribute called class. For these tags, the style will be applied, the text will be aligned to the center and color will be applied to the green. If you want to verify, let me save this one, go to the browser and let me refresh it. See, the welcome is just displayed normally. There is no style has been applied. However, Parnika tutorials, like, share, subscribe. Please visit Parnika tutorials YouTube channel. All this content having the attribute called class. So that's why we have used the attribute selector, and then we have applied the style as text align center and color as green. So for these tags the style has been applied. Now let me discuss with one more example. Let's take that here h1, h2, h1 tags are there. Let's take that there are two h1 tags. For the h1 tags where the class attribute is there, for them only if you want to apply, then you can use the h1 tag, provide the space and take the class attribute. Now the h1 tag, h2 tag and this h1 tag also have the attribute called class. But what you are saying, for the tag called h1, wherever the attribute is there called class, for them only you want to apply the style. Let's see how it will work. Let me save the program and let me open the browser and let me refresh it. Now the entire content have been displayed properly. I think we have done some mistake. Let me go to the Notepad++. Here we have provided the space. Let me remove the space. So for the h1 tag, whatever the tags of h1 having the attribute called class, for them only you want to apply the style. Let me see how it will works. Let me save it and then go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now this h1 tag Parnika tutorials, and please visit Parnika tutorials YouTube channel having the attribute called class, for them only the style has been applied. Even this h2 tag having the attribute called class, but still the style has not been applied. So for a particular tag, for a particular attribute, if you want to apply the style, that you can do it. Suppose let's take that for the h2 tag which is having the attribute called id, I want to apply the style. Let's take that. I want to write text align and I will write right, and then color I will provide it as red, and then I will use the h2 tag and I will provide the id as fun. Okay, and again another h2 tag I will provide id as fun123. Now you know that in a web page each tag should have a unique id. Okay, now let me save this one. Now what you are saying, for the h2 tag, whatever the tags are having the id attribute, for them only you want to apply. So this h2 tag and this h2 tag, let me use another h2 tag also. Let me have h2 tag open, and then for that one I will not use the id attribute. I will simply write by and let me close the h2 tag. Now only for the first h2 tag and second h2 tag having the attribute called id, for them only the style should be applied, which is right, and color should be red. Let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the like, share, subscribe has been right justified, and also that content have been displayed in red color. So like this we can use the attribute selectors. I hope you have understood the CSS selectors and then various selectors such as simple selectors, combinatorial selectors, pseudo-class selector, pseudo-element selector and attribute selectors. Now we will discuss few questions for better understanding. Let me take the first question. How to apply same style for multiple tags? You will say that the question is very simple. We can do it. Let's verify how can we do it. So let me delete entire thing. Okay, and let me delete this one also. What I want to do is that I want to apply same style to the h2 tag and also the paragraph tag. Let me write paragraph tag, welcome to Parnika tutorials. And then let me close the paragraph tag. Now I want to apply same style to the h2 tag and to the paragraph tag. Then what you will do? You will simply write tag based selector h2 and then you will write color is equal to red, and then you will copy this one. In place of the h2 tag you will use the paragraph tag. Then the style will be applied to the both the tags. If you want to verify, let me refresh this one. Go to the browser, refresh it. Now you can see by welcome to Parnika tutorials have been applied same style only. but I don't want to do like this because I'm writing the same style multiple times. I want to make it simplified. Then you will say that the simplified one is, sir, for these two tags you apply some class is equal to some class name as 1, and for this one also you take a class as class 1. Then we can apply the class based selector. So I will use the dot and then class name as 1 I will write, and then I will delete this one. Okay, now what I have done, I have taken the class based selector and the class name I have given as 1. So wherever the tags having the class is equal to 1, the style will be applied. Let me save this one and let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. For differentiate, let me use the color as green. Let me save it and go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see both the tags have been applied same style, but I don't want to do like this also. What is the other solution? The other solution is you can simply write h2 tag and then p tag, and then you can apply like this. Which tag you want to apply for the h2 tag, and for the paragraph tag also you want to apply. So simply you can write h2 tag comma paragraph tag, and then you can write the CSS rules. So for the h2 tag and also for the paragraph tag, this style will be applied. Let me save this one. In place of green, let me use the pink color so that you can understand that the style has been applied to the h2 tag and paragraph tag. Let me save it and go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the pink color has been applied. The pink color is not looking great. Okay, let me use some violet color. Let me save it and go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see the font have been displayed in the violet color. Okay, like this we can apply the same style to the multiple tags. Let me ask the another question. What happens if we apply all the three styles to the same tag? What are the three styles? We know that we have the inline style sheets, internal style sheets, and external style sheet. For a single tag, if I am using the inline style sheets, internal style sheet, and also the external style sheet, what will happen? Now let me open the first.html using Notepad++. Then you can see here for the h1 tag I have applied the inline CSS. So how I have written style is equal to color yellow. So here the style is an attribute now, and for that attribute I have used the color as the property and value as yellow. Similarly, I have used the internal CSS. So internal CSS, how I have provided in the head tag, I have used the style tag and type is equal to text or CSS, and for the h1 tag I have used the color as red. Similarly, I have used the external CSS. So external CSS, what I have done, I have created one separate external.css. In the external.css, I have used the h1 tag and the color I have applied violet. So in the external CSS, the content should be displayed in violet. In the internal, the font should be displayed in red color. In the inline, the font will be displayed in yellow color. For the h1 tag, we have applied all the three styles. One is inline, internal, and external. In that case, which one will be given higher priority? The highest priority will be given to the inline CSS. So the content, this is first HTML page, will be displayed in yellow color. If you want to verify, let me save this program and go to the CSS, open with Google Chrome. Now you can see this is first HTML page have been displayed in yellow color. Now let me remove the inline CSS. Now for the h1 tag, I have used the internal and external. In that case, the internal style sheet will be given highest priority. So this is first HTML page will be displayed in red color. If you want to verify, let me save this program, go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can see this is first HTML page content have been displayed in red color. So if you apply all the three styles to a single tag, the highest priority will be given to the inline CSS, then internal, then external. Now let me ask the third question for you. How to apply the same style to a particular tag with a particular class name? Let me go to the first.html. In this one, I will use the h1 tag several times. Let me copy this one, paste it, and again copy this one. This is second HTML page. This is third HTML page. Okay, now you can see for the h1 tag, I will have the class name as 1, and for this h1 tag also I will have the class name as 1. Okay, so how to apply the same style to a particular tag with a particular class name? Okay, so this for the h1 tag having the class name as 1, and this h2 tag is there, it does not have the class name as 2. Let's consider that this h2 tag have the class name as 2. Then in that case, what you will do? You will do with the help of the class based selector. So you will say dot class name as 1. Okay, now let me remove this external CSS, only let me consider the internal CSS. So then what you will say? You will say I'm using the class based selector. So for the class name 1, I am using the color as red. So wherever the tags having the class name is 1, for them the rule will be applied. If you want to verify, let me refresh it. Now you can see this is first HTML page, this is second HTML page. This content have been displayed using the red color. But however, you don't want to use the class based. Instead of this one, you want to use a particular tag with a particular class name. Then in that case, you can select the tag name. Now for the h1 tag, I want to apply, and the class name is 1. So for the h1 tag, and the class name is 1. How can I say like this? Suppose let's take that for the h2 tag also, if you have the class name as 1, okay, and this is having the content called welcome. If you end with h1 h2 tag, then see, if you only go for the class based selector, if you say dot 1 means, so the tags which is there in the class 1, for all of the tags the color will be applied as red. If you want to verify, you can save this program, and then let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. So look at here, this is first HTML page, this is second HTML page, welcome, all this content have been displayed using red color. If you don't want for the only h1 tag having the class name as 1, for them only the style should be applied, then in that case you will take the tag as h1 and the class name as 1. So h1 dot class name. So in here the h1 is the tag, and then you are using the dot for the class name called 1, and you are applying the style. Then for the h1 tag, which tags are in the class called 1, for them only the rule will be applied. So this is first HTML page, this is second HTML page, will be displayed in the red color. If you want to verify, let me go to the browser and let me refresh it. Now you can observe the change. So like this, we can apply the same style to a particular tag with a particular class name. I hope you have understood about the CSS selectors much more clear way with these 3 questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.